back to Bangalore 3 years back. I always wanted to come back and it took a while. So I'm trying to get back to Toastmaster. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome, Rajesh.
We're done with the guests. Any other guests?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I see some guests online also.
1 second, yes.
Yeah.
Myself, Sridhar. This is my first year actually. I wrote a new program. I just was looking for Toastmasters. So to own my companies and to present myself launch ideas. So that's the motive to bring me
Thank you.
actually.
Thank you.
Thank you. Arun, I would request Chetana is in the building. He has requested in the group to guide her into the building. Can you ask Trilok to guide her? Chetana is posted in the group. Can you ask Trilok? He's outside.
Given,
She posted in the group itself. Yes, you can take her. Ask Trilok to do it, please. Anyone else? I see someone online, Venki. Is it a member?
Hi. This is Venkatesh Ramarao Venki. I am colleague of Arun. I work in Tesco.
Okay.
This is my
Awesome.
first into Toastmaster.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Awesome. With this, yes. Arun, we are done. All guests there.
someone got
Awesome.
Jack on the line. I don't know whether it's
But
hack
he-
or
that-
real Jack.
He's not connected to online, he or she, so I'm not sure. Okay, great. So with this, let's move on to the meeting. I would like to welcome our Toastmaster of the day, my dear friend, my mentor, and the great comedian, theatre and comedian is what I would say. Please help me welcome on the stage, Toastmaster of the day, Arun Sriram. Over to you, Arun. Let's call him on the stage. A round of applause.
Thank you so much, first of all, DD Vyaska, for connecting from wherever you are connecting. Truly shows your commitment, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing here today. I have been in apartments in Mumbai. Mumbai apartments are typically one-bedroom apartments, but somehow, when there's a marriage that happens and 55 people land up as invitees into the house expands. That's pretty much how this particular meeting room has operated. It has seen 4 people, it has seen 40 people. Somehow it expands. I mean, I keep telling my club all the time that when you have space in your heart, everything will sort itself out. Right? So welcome, good morning once again to all of you, dear fellow Toastmasters, guests, and those who have joined online as well. Today, it gives me great pleasure to talk about the flavor of the season. Yes, one of it was water, which Yaska spoke about. The second is an annual affair, and that is examination. What hits you when you hear the word exam first? What's the first word? I mean, we're just going to take one word from each of you.
Dread, fear.
Dread. Fear.
Doctor.
Fear.
Doctor.
Examination.
Exam,
Fear.
examination. Exam. No, exam. Stress.
Surprise.
Surprise. Yeah. I can tell you. Sorry? Nightmare. Oh, tell me about it.
Even now I get that.
I do. That's very common, right? Where you have this entire imagination that you are in a physics exam, but you studied chemistry and without the wrong examination. That's something that I get as nightmares even now, and I'm a commerce student. Why does chemistry and physics come to a nightmare? I have no idea. And not just that, I am somebody who's never worried about exams. I was only worried about the results.
Good manager, sir.
So, the reason I picked up exams, like I said, is the season of exams right now, and it's also something that we all have gone through in our nostalgia every now and then. And now perhaps some of us have children who are into the exam mode. Is there anything, if you have a child and they are attending exams, is there anything that you didn't do when you were a student, but you're telling your kids that that is the best thing to do? Kishore sir. Anything that you didn't do, but you tell your kids you have to do it like this.
Wake up early.
Wake up early. Anything else?
Get more marks.
Get more marks. Fantastic. Anything else?
Not to take exam seriously.
Not to take exams seriously. Wow, that's interesting.
Study hard.
Study hard.
Like, don't worry about the results. I know what efforts you are giving. That's enough for me.
MS Dhoni approach to life. Focus on the process.
At least my parents never did that to me. At least I am trying to do that to my
Very
kid.
nice, very nice, great. So we'll keep talking about this, but let me just introduce you to the concept of how a Toastmasters meeting runs. It has three elements to it. One is called the prepared speech. That is the first segment where we have speakers who will come and give their respective speeches depending on which pathway they adopt and which level of the pathway they are in. The second section is called table topic section, where Toastmasters as well as guests are encouraged to come on stage and give an impromptu speech for 1 to 2 minutes. The topic will be given once you're on the stage. You will have 5 to 10 seconds to think about the topic and then talk for 1 to 2 minutes. And then finally, we have the evaluation section, which is the most critical aspect of any Toastmasters meeting, because it is not just about what you think you have done, it's about how someone else is perceived, how you have performed, and how you can improve going forward. The last section is something that I always look forward to, which means you have to stay through the first two sections. Watch till the end. Have you seen it? This is that. And to help run the meeting, we have specific role takers who help us in making sure the conduct of the meeting is smooth. And one of the key members in that role is the general evaluator. Now, the general evaluator will explain his own rules, own role per se, but I will introduce this gentleman. I wanted to introduce him impromptu, but he gave me a very formal introduction. I will add my 2 bits to it. This is what he's told me, okay? He is a mechanical engineer with a master's in information systems and has worked in the corporate for over 15 years in mergers and acquisitions. He now runs his own consulting firm called Mithya that uses storytelling and theater-based learning methods for faculty and organization development. He is an avid Toastmaster for over 12 years now. This is a formal introduction. Now, my introduction of this gentleman. I saw him for the first time, possibly 5 years back at an improv show. I was absolutely floored by what he did there. I've seen him perform again and again as an improv artist, a phenomenal collaborator, a beautiful thinker, full of humor, full of life. Put your hands together for our general evaluator, Kevin Bishop.
Thank you, Arun, for that lovely introduction, but I'm sure everybody in the audience is puzzled and because the description and the cutout don't match. But anyways, let's get through this. So as a general evaluator, yesterday I got a message from one of my friends who is a doctor saying that on a Sunday morning, right about when you are about to hit the bed, if you just go back to your car and drive back to meet a stranger and treat him, you have to be an accident specialist doctor. I replied to him saying like, on a Sunday morning, if you have to go meet a bunch of strangers and sadistically tell them what they are not doing right, you have to be a general evaluator in Toastmasters. So that is pretty much my job today. So as a general evaluator, I will be evaluating the session in its totality, right from the beginning till the end about what are the things that went really well and what things can be improved. And to do this task, since it's a Herculean task, I have a couple of role players who will be helping me in this. The first role player is going to be the timer Trilok. The Trilok still? Okay. Thanks, Trilok. So Trilok is a software engineer and true to his name, work, office, work, Toastmasters and home are his 3 words. Now, Trilok also enjoys a lot of sports and apparently badminton is what keeps him fit. So Trilok, over to you. Please come and explain what you are going to do at the time. Yeah.
So we are playing musical chairs today. One seat is left, so you can. So my role as a timer is to give a time check, similar to the exams, where before you're going to finish the exam, there's one bell that says that it's time to revise your answers. And then there's one bell, final bell that rings and says that the invigilator comes and snatches the paper. But this time is not going to stop you. You should do that yourself. So the green card would show up when there's the first ring timer bell, which is typically in a prepared speech at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes, which is the time to stop. And in case of table topics, it's 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and 2 minutes. Thank you. I'll be back with my report when I'm being called upon again at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Look, and since there are many guests here today, for the benefit of guests, let me tell you that time boundedness brings in the most important, character to your entire speech. Many a time when we are not Toastmasters, we all have this notion that I can speak quite well. I mean, I can go on for extempore, etc. and all. But this one simple parameter, 5 to 7 minutes, no matter who you are, even if you are the world champion, 7 minutes, 31 seconds, you are disqualified. So that pattern is followed in every meeting. So that kind of brings in a lot of sanity and value to what we are speaking. So we start preparing according to the time, we start chopping off the unnecessary portions, redundancies and other things, which makes our speech really, really effective. So time boundedness is what you will see. So 5 minutes, you get one green card, 6 minutes are a yellow card, and 7 minutes a red card. Red card means wrap up. You have only 30 seconds left. And in a typical contest or a speech scenario, you will not be informed that 30 seconds has crossed. The red card is up as long as you are speaking. So you'll have to mentally develop that capability of knowing that, okay, I'm getting past 30 seconds. So that's a very important role to play. So let's all clap for Trilok and next. We invite the counter for today, Sanjana. Yeah. So Sanjana needs no introduction because I wasn't given an introduction. So let's look at Sanjana as what an founder is. Yeah.
My apologies, I have forgotten to give the introduction. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'll be taking the role of our counter. In our counter, I'll be listening to the speakers and making a note of inappropriate sounds and words, basically any inappropriate or space filler words used by the speakers. For example, inappropriate sounds are like and space fillers, example, like, but, when, and, as well as I'll be also taking a note of any words that are repeated by the speakers. Example, I, you know. And apart from this, okay. And at the end of the meeting, I'll be also sharing my reports to all of you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sanjana. So this is an important feature again. For example, any of you, when you speak, if you have an opportunity to record it and then play it back, you will see that you have used a filler word or sometimes pause or something like or the way I was using something so many times that it has disturbed the course of speech. Like, for example, not stereotyping, but if you speak to Gen Z kids, the word like is used so much. Of course, they definitely want more likes on Facebook, but otherwise also, like I was saying this like this to her, she was like this, I was like that. So you see these filler words actually creeping into your speeches as well. So that's a very important role that will tell you how many R's, ers, ums you have used. And I am normally an accounter's delight. So I generally manage to make half a century at least, but yeah, general evaluator is exempted from all. Well, moving on, the third role, grammarian, is it still? Okay, Yasha, please narrate your role as a grammarian, what you're going to do.
Thank you so much. I'm audible. Okay. So as a grammarian, I would look forward for great English language used and also any any wrong usages that can be improved upon. I'll be sharing this report at the end of the meeting on the good usage and also the improvement parts of the grammar and English. As a grammarian, I will also be introducing the word of the day. Today's word of the day is germane. Please don't consider it as Germany. It is germane, Germane. It means relevance of the subject matter. For example, you can say, we have to speak germane to the meeting theme. So I request, as the word of the day germane is very germane to the current day, I will expect most usage of the word of the day in the meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Yaska. So that's the third role within the general evaluator umbrella. So it will help you to kind of enhance the language, and especially all of you who would want to improve your communication. This is a great tool for you because they will tell you what is an appropriate usage of a particular line, how you could have said it better, what were good words that you could have used, and things like that. So there's going to be a lot food for thought towards the end of the meeting once we have some lovely speeches. I see lovely audience and a great host for us today. So let's all clap for Arun, and I'll be back with my evaluation work.
Dental Evaluator DTM Kishore for adding the Dania on the respective roles as well. Thank you so much. We will run into the first section of the formal meeting, which is the prepared speeches. We have two speakers coming up with some amazing speeches today. I can preempt it already and I can see that. So the first speaker, before I introduce the first speaker on stage, I would request the evaluator, the first evaluator, speech evaluator, Dhanedar, to come on, read out the project objectives, the speech objectives, and then I will introduce the speaker and the speech title.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, Saurav is going to give the first speech. So his topic is one of the hottest topic today. I mean, if you have to go to a VC and if you have to get some funding, I think you have to use this keyword, any cases. You will have very high chance of getting that. Yeah. So it's going to be, I mean, he's going to, his pathway is dynamic leadership, and he's going to give a speech on level 2. His title is Demystifying Cloud Computing and ChatGPT for My Parents with Creativity.
What is the speech objective do you have, evaluation resource?
This understanding communication style.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So, Saurabh is a tech enthusiast not only by profession, but also by heart. His interest spans across current economic affairs, recent technology trends, to indulging in watching web series on various OTT platforms. Put your hands together for Saurabh. This was the Saurabh. The title is Demystifying Cloud Computing and ChatGPT for My Parents with Creativity. Demystifying Cloud Computing and ChatGPT for My Parents with Creativity. Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me begin by asking you, have you ever got into this undesirable position of explaining a complex technical topic to someone unfamiliar with technology and also who is in their 70s? Well, I landed into such unpleasant position when my parents pestered me into unraveling the secrets of ChatGPT, AI, cloud computing they kept hearing about. Well, here is the complete story. Whenever my parents used to ask me about my work, I would try to deflect them with vague answers. It is going on good. My company, being in the cloud computing business, is doing great. But they kept wondering, what the heck is this cloud computing all about? I never tend to get into specifics, fearing that would be very complex and very difficult for me to explain this cloud, as this cloud has nothing to do with weather, and we cannot get this cloud to rain and wet things. However, one fateful day when I was at my native, both my father and my uncle, who by the time had become expert smartphone user, cornered me. Son, can you explain this cloud computing business you are in to us in a way we can understand? They demanded. I had no other option to escape, took a deep breath, and reluctantly launched into my explanation. Cloud computing, you know, is an ecosystem where all these large corporations keep their ever-increasing data and services in large data centers to be consumed across the world, anytime, anywhere. That's how Google, Facebook keep their content. These are the popular cloud computing companies. I looked into their faces Day seemed cloudy and I realized I'm going nowhere. I moved to a different analogy. Imagine a giant bakery open 24/7. It has ovens of all sizes. Now you want to bake a cake. You only pay for the oven you used and for the time you used. In cloud terminology, it's called pay per use. It's very German to cloud computing. It's like renting a computer without purchasing it. At this stage, they seemed completely sleepy. And I have no clue how to take this forward. Suddenly, a light bulb went on in my mind. Do you remember how do we get electricity when we plug our appliances into the world? Cloud computing works the similar way. But instead of electricity, we get data and information. Where is this information coming from? My dad shouted. Well, that is the beauty of cloud computing. Just as we don't need generator for all of our houses to get electricity and it is being supplied by the electricity supply companies, similar to this in the cloud world, these cloud companies act as a kind of information supply companies. They have something known as data centers to house this data and service it from anywhere, anytime. I took it one step forward. Let's see a practical use of cloud computing. I took my smartphone, clicked a photo of my dad, and uploaded it in a photo sharing website and made him access the same from his smartphone. See, this is how you can store, access, delete data in the cloud, anywhere, anytime. Now, I can see a smile in their faces, and I realized that I am successful to some extent in my efforts. But the questions start rolling in. Is this how the new ChatGPT robot works, walking through the cloud? I had the perfect analogy now. Imagine these fortune tellers you have seen in the market with a parrot and a deck of cards to pick from. ChatGPT is an advanced version of that. The only difference is instead of a vague chart, you get real answers and it gets better as it learns. To impress them, I open ChatGPT in my phone and ask them, why don't you ask a question and see the human responses from ChatGPT? My dad jumped and asked, what would be the weather this weekend? Their jaws dropped when ChatGPT responded with a detailed weather forecast, which seemed so accurate. They were all amazed in excitement. My father could not resist taking it one step ahead, asking if this G in ChatGPT is to show some respect, like Guruji or even Motiji. Well, Dad, I replied with a grin, G you can take for genius. My dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, what started as a reluctant explanation turned out to be a fun-filled conversation. The key here, I realized, is to keep it simple, relatable, and adding a sprinkle of AI humor. I was able to bridge the tech gap between me and my parents. Thinking beyond, imagine a world all these AI assistants can not only answer questions, but also help us in doing our tasks like booking a ticket or even writing a poem for our parents. The possibilities are endless and it's really exciting to see how technology evolve and impact our lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saurabh. It's not just your parents who needed that 5-year-old narration, even I needed it. Now I know what cloud computing possibly is. Thank you so much for that. We now go to the second speech, and to read out the speech objectives, I'll welcome the second evaluator, Toastmaster Manoj Pandey.
So the speaker master Rohit will deliver his L2 E3 speech. The purpose of the speech is for the member to clarify, define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. And purpose of the speech is also the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. All the best, Toastmaster.
Second speaker, Toastmaster Rohit. He hails from Thrissur in Kerala, one of my favorite places, and he works in TCS. Work and TCS together in the same sentence. Well done. And he's currently serving as the president of TCS Maitre Shetty Orators Club of Area E3, and he loves watching cricket and comedy sketches. And his speech title is "A Toast to My Mentor." A toast to my mentor, Toastmaster Rohit.
You are the architect of your life through a series of choices. This is what my mentor always kept telling me. My mentor repeatedly reminded me that in your life you should have a goal. And to meet your goal, you should always have a proper plan. To execute that plan, you always need to make the right choices. Well, till my third year of my engineering, I did not find anything that got me interested. Since I was a day scholar throughout my educational journey, the only thing my routine was like I would board my KSRTC bus, go to my school, college, wait for the whole day to complete, and take the same bus to go back home. And coming back to choices, the only choice that I made was to whether to board that bus or not, depending upon the availability of the seats. But my mentor never gave up on me and decided to bring a change into my life. Dear mentors, mentees, good morning. Let me introduce you my mentor, my very own Chechi, my elder sister, my parents' second favorite child. And if you all want to know who took the top spot from her, it is none other than my 18 months old niece. I, being an introvert, was never a person who would say yes to any opportunities that came by. I was very shy in nature, which made me take a back foot to most of the opportunities that came across. And when we come across choices, we do make umpteen number of choices in our lives, don't we? Like we make choice over a mobile phone, over a dress, over a food. We make a choice over a village area or a city to reside. We may even make a choice to which Toastmasters club to join. One of the things that actually kept holding me back was my speaking skills. I always find it hard to speak, even through when I had to make a phone call. Because one thing was, I know my communication was weak, and the other thing was, I would actually tend to forget what I actually wanted to convey. So immediately, my parents started to suggest, like, read the newspapers, read articles, and even said, why don't you go and attend a spoken English class? Immediately, the 15 years of my CBSE kept flashing in my memory. I totally disagreed. And I said, no, not a chance. I don't think I even had glossophobia because I found it hard to speak even to a single person. My mentor always told me that you should always be ready to step out from your comfort zone. Only then you'll be able to move forward in life and experience the changes in your life. So she suggested, there's another place in Thrissur. They conduct meetings. I said, are you sure it's meeting or it's just another spoken English class? No, they conduct meetings every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. So once again, she called the VP membership of Toastmasters Club of Thrissur, and from there on started my Toastmasters venture. Sessions like table topics and where you have to think and speak on your feet and prepare speeches all helped me break my barriers, bring in creativity and enhance my knowledge. I enjoyed those meetings so much that to an extent, I never failed to miss any of those meetings. It improved me a lot and transformed me the person who I was. This Toastmasters platform helped me to think, speak, and listen. It helped me to realize and transform me to a person, from a person who was shy to make phone calls, to a person who got elected as an SAA and to open every Toastmaster meetings. talking about change. Now I actually understood what my bus conductor was always saying. Don't always expect change to be given to you. You have to sometimes bring the change. This Toastmasters platform also gave me opportunities to conduct college and tech level events. It also helped me crack my very first job interview and also organize team building events in my organization. Currently, I am an MBA aspirant. I have been appearing for a lot of exams and interviews for the last 3 years. My sister, who is also a mother of an 18-month-old toddler, also finds time for this 26-year-old brother. She is also constantly preparing with me. And with a lot of hard work and support, I was able to get an admission to one of the prestigious B schools in India. So I would like to dedicate this speech to my mentor, my very own Chechi, who still never always ensures that there's a flame that's igniting within me, who's always there to strike matchstick just to make sure the fire inside me doesn't burn out, who is approximately 981 kilometers away from here in Navi Mumbai, eagerly waiting to know how I have prepared for this speech. But more importantly, looking forward on how I have decided to architect my life. Back to the Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohit, for that endearing speech. Lovely to hear how much family contributes to your journey in Toastmasters. It's really inspiring for us to know, and it's a message for the rest of you. You can inspire your respective family members. Before we move to the next section, which is table topics, just want to talk a little bit more about exams. So I used to be extremely scared like every other student would. But worse than that, after the exam results come, I used to hide my report card in one of my clothes shelves. And on the Monday morning, when we had to take the signature back, I would take it to my father and say, can you please sign? He's like, I'm not signing it this time. Let mom sign. I would go to mom. Mom would be like, I can't sign this time. Ask Appa to sign. That's when I realized how corporate email officers work. Out of office, back to out of office, and back to out of office. It used to be a very strange experience, but over the course of time, when I started preparing for my chartered accountancy, what I came to know was, yes, exams are more an elimination technique than a selection technique for anything coming afterwards. Because the population is 1.4 billion people right now, there's only so much that selection can do. In a lot of ways, eliminations work faster. Cutoffs of 95%, CAT percentile of 99.7%. All that is to make sure that more people stay off the race than in the race. You can't help it when the population is 1.4 billion, which is acceptable. But does that really mean that elimination, does that elimination mean rejection? Is that the end of the world for us? Because I have come through a particular course where the pass percentage is roughly 2%. When I cleared chartered accountancy, it roughly used to be 2%. Given that the remaining 98%, how they felt, I have seen those people and how they responded to exams and thereby how they responded to life. For many people, exams define their personality, define their identity. Was it really worth it? There was one friend of mine, his name was Vivekanand. Vivekanand used to work in Mumbai, and it was 6 years since he went back to his hometown in Odisha. The only reason was he didn't want to go back to his hometown before completing his CA. He felt it would be a slap on his face, it would be degrading on him to keep going back to his parents' house as a so-called failure. He eventually cleared in possibly his 12th attempt or 13th attempt, the last group and final. And then he went with a puffed heart back to the hometown. It's great for some people if it ends up working like that and they go back home proud, that is fantastic. But a lot of people also move on in life and say, okay, this is not cut out for me, let me do something else. We all hear this beautiful quote like winners don't quit, quitters don't win and all of that. But I think what is most important is, what do you want these exams to define you as? What little portion are they reflective of your own self? Isn't there so much to your life, so much to your childhood, so much to your adulthood, and what more you can achieve as a human being for the entire ecosystem around you, and just bring joy to your own self as a person? I am a 98th percentile. I am a 5 point someone. Why are we defining ourselves with these numbers? The other big thing that I have realized over a period of time through exams is it sets so much into your DNA, like Kishore rightly said, I will tell you what's wrong with you. We all tend to get to what I call the 100 minus syndrome. Whatever we do, we look at there's somebody who's done better. Why can't we be there? This is the absolute greatness. Why am I not there? If we flip it and say we are a 0 plus rather than a 100 minus, there is so much that we ourselves can be happy about and keep improving. We will all work towards 100, but we'll never say today I'm 100 minus 5, tomorrow I'm 100 minus 2. You would rather say today I'm 0 plus 90, tomorrow I'm 0 plus 92. I will head towards 100. That way you want to be more positive about yourself and work towards perfection, just that you're far more relieved. Examinations are not for expression, they are meant for impressions. That is acceptable and we can't change the ways of the world in that direction, right? On that note, I will now move on to the second section, which is table topics. And to conduct the table topic section today, we have a gentleman who is working as a senior data engineer with Maersk Company. I attended an interview with Maersk back in 2003. We'll talk about that later. I did such a bad matter, I can't tell you. And he has 11 years of experience sorry, in IT. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Jay Prakash. Just one word of advice, we have a lot of guests today. So first preference to guests offline and online, and then members role takers. Yeah.
Hello, hi. Good morning, Dr. Masters. Good, I think so. I have so excited about this taking topics about these exams because everybody knows, right? I think the exams means like everybody like scared or tension, like how that exams before entering to that exam hall. I think so. We used to be prepare something well in advance. We don't know which questions will be coming, and we have to prepare very well. So okay, so I think so. In my life, I think so. I completed my SLC 10th standard. I think in 2003. I remember thereafter. I think still it remember in my nightmare. In dreams, us used to come those exams. Still, whether we used to crack or something, we got failed something. About we thinking about results. Even though we pass something, still sometimes used to get into something dreams. Maybe whether it is failure or something success. So with that, I think sir, we will be starting something table topics. Any volunteers from? First, I think we will start with guest today. Yeah. Sure. So today your topic is. What was your reaction like before exam and after exam?
Exams are always scary if you are prepared or you are not prepared. But if you prepare too much, then it's more scary. And if you are not prepared, then it's scary. And so my reaction would always be I would study, but always I used to be scared and think that no, I want to get full marks. But then I would think that what questions can come, then I used to prepare. But many a times before the exam, I would start crying that okay, I am not prepared and I would be very scared. But my parents, on the other hand, would be telling me, "Don't worry, you are studying, be okay and fine." But I would be telling them, "No, no, I want to prepare and I want to get the full marks." But then I used to also think at the same time, okay, once this exam is done, I'll watch this movie, I'll play and all that. So that was my reaction before the exam. And after my exam would be done, I would not even think about anything. I would not discuss the paper. If anyone asked me anything about how did your exam go, I said, yeah, good, good. Don't ask anything else to me. And I would want it to be done and no questions asked. Only wait for my results. So, thank you.
Very nice. So the way you explained, I think so after the exam, we need to take some inputs from people there. So we should avoid something that scares. So anybody from online? Okay, then we will start with something any guests there. Well, Sambar. Hi, Sambar. Today your topic is, have you ever tried slips of cheating or copywriting? Your school days.
Good morning, my dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Have I ever cheated? If I ask you, have you ever cheated in an exam? Not any other place, but on an exam day? He says yes. Okay, to me, it was very tough because I'm a very, very slow writer. So whatever in the question paper, to write all that stuff, it takes me whole 3 hours of the exam. So I don't get to cheat a lot, but whenever I get a chance to cheat, I ask and I keep asking for some or the other question and answer. And mostly I would not cheat because I don't get time to cheat. That's the challenge that I face. And most probably I take the when the invigilator is coming, so that's the chance to talk, and that's the time where we don't get to talk and talk a lot. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, any other person?
Correct.
Hi, Karan. So today our topic is, I remember this, maybe some people may do something in during, not in school, okay, not school days, some maybe during that. Have you written any movie stories during the exams?
Okay, hey, good morning, everybody. So, on the topic of have I ever written movie stories?
Really question, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a very similar story, not exactly movie stories though. I started in my engineering. I am an IT engineer, so I started my course in a BTech and an MTech course. In the first year of college, when there was this subject called computer programming, where the teacher taught us a language called C++. And I did not have any computer background from prior to my college. So I just remember that there was this final exam of that course. I had zero knowledge of C++, and I knew that I'm going to fail. The only question or the only answer that I knew was how to print hello world, because that is the first code that everybody writes. So on a question paper of 10 probably questions, in every answer, what I wrote was just print hello world. And I just hope that this teacher will pass me, hoping that this guy will someday learn. And today let me pass this guy. And eventually that did not happen. I failed. I actually failed. But yeah, on a similar story, I did not write movie stories, but I did write the same answer to all 10 questions and failed. That's about it.
Super. Thank you. I asked you, when I was studying undergraduate and basic computers, there was a subject as something Sanskrit. So Sanskrit, even where right, we can convert it to something regional language also. So there, whatever you write, I think so they won't see the papers. They have to give something tick and they will make it pass. Okay. So next from online, anyone?
Just call me.
Hi, this is Venki here.
Hi, Venki. So today your topic is, who is your best teacher in your school days? Why?
Who is my best teacher and why? I never liked any of the teacher, but yeah, to answer the question, yeah. There was this Sanskrit teacher during my 10th standard. I think she was my favorite because she never focused on the marks, what we just spoke, and she always thought about the concepts, which was very important. And she was very easy to ask any questions, and we always got the answer. So that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Which one? Okay.
Just when we have 2 minutes, we can take all of 20 minutes. I mean, we will definitely choose not to, but.
Your name?
Cheetna.
Chetan, yeah. Chetan, your topic is today is, have you ever corrected your progress report? This is something. Okay.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm Cheetna. So my topic is, have I ever corrected my progress report? Not that I can clearly remember, but one thing that I remember from childhood was there was something called as whitener. We all have used to correct few things, which can include your marks, your progress cards, or your diary remarks that your teacher gives you. So not that I was that student who would go ahead and do any sort of correction on the remarks that teacher has given. But many a times with my tuition teacher, I have tried that, where in case he is scolding me or he has given a remark, like he would write it in the diary. And then my mother would read it, and then she would tell it to my father that, okay, she is not reading here, she's not studying well. So to save myself from that anger, I would sometimes just use whitener or eraser, or at times there was blade also that I would use to remove that paper piece and rewrite it. So yeah, a couple of times I have done, but again, I'm not a very good practitioner of using this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone from, yeah. Like, Sudhir, hi Sudhir. So today your topic is, what was the most hilarious incident in your engineering days? Hilarious incident.
Hilarious incident.
Funny incident. Okay. Okay, I will ask something which I have not prepared. Okay, we are two families. Okay, they are neighbor to you, and one of best friend also staying with other family. You both of you studying okay, normal. So the exam results came. Your friend got passed and you got failed. So what was your reaction? How do you reaction come in explain to your dad?
Similar to the situation, I can explain. Okay, maybe in the 10th class when I read in the exams. Okay, maybe my the household person who is there, he got very good marks.
Okay.
I am maybe I got some 470 like that. He got some 540 like that. Okay, so surely comparison will be there. Like the parents also used to tell that, okay, you should have studied like that person. So that situation I remembered it, and it doesn't mean that, okay. I also take that as the person as an inspiration also to study better and have a good marks. That's what I remember. And in my own home, okay, my brothers used to got very good marks and I used to get normal marks. So comparison will be there with my brothers also. Okay, even in school also, okay, they know me, my brother. Okay, some of the teachers. So comparison used to be there within the home also. Okay, that's what I can say.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So anyone else? Yeah.
Money.
Hi. Okay. The last question is, did you find something in difference between our school days exams and our engineering days exams? About like preparation, you think?
Okay. So what is the difference between our school days exams and engineering exams? Yeah, there will be so much difference between the school days and the engineering. The school days means you have a subject like 10 chapters, all 10 chapters will be taught by teachers, evening you will have a tuitions and all, everything. At the end of the day, you will be forced to read everything out of the books and all. Okay, but engineering, you have to learn, study, with your own pace, and you make that it's not possible to complete everything in the classroom. So most of the things like they might give like 2 or 3 reference and all. So to understand it, what they have taught us, it will take us time, and you have to go through reference textbooks, different papers, published papers you have to read, all those things you have to do on your, and you could not able to complete more than 3 chapters out of 8 chapters in engineering, and the remaining you have to write on your own in the exam to pass. So that you will get at least out of 100, you will get 70, 77. Thank you.
So I think so, one more topic is left, I think so from my end, anyone, yeah, yes. Yes, thank you. So Namaskar, your topic is today is, do you believe that today's public exams is required to, pass the marks? Like sometimes earlier it was, they kept something for the 7th standard, they made it and they removed of public exams. Do you believe that public exams is required? Board exams, yeah.
Hi everyone. See, in my view, board exams is mandatory for kids because student as a student. So if you remove it, so they cannot study and they cannot come to know that what is the board exam as well. To achieve their goals and something in the future, at least they come to know that what is board exams, I can study better and I can take a good marks and can move to the next level of study. So if they completely remove it and they will come at the end of PUC first year, second year, that time they will face some issues. So they cannot, that time they cannot study properly and they can take the good marks. If it is before that, they will understand what is the process of exam and what is their goals and how they can prepare for something they want to get the good marks. If nothing is there, even for us also, in same thing in corporate office also, if you are not following any process, just to go and do whatever you want, then we cannot learn new things. That same way we need some process to follow that or crack the exams.
Yeah, thank you. So, thank you all. I think so. You all, I think so, gave something valuable input, information. Thank you. With that, I can come and hand over.
I will go to the Showmaster Jay Prakash for giving topics very germane to the theme of the day. And now we'll move on to the third section, the most exciting section in the Toastmasters meeting, the evaluation section. And to conduct the entire evaluation section, I now call back our general evaluator, DTM Kishore.
Thank you, Arun. So we'll start with the role players. So we'll start with the specific evaluations. The first prepared speech today by Saurabh being evaluated by Dharani. Can we please have your evaluation then?
Hello everyone. First, I would like to start with the things that at least I admired and I liked about in your speech. First thing is when you started calmly, then you set the context really well. Then you started unraveling the things one by one clearly. So at least I was very curious on how you were able to convince your relatives, because initially you were giving some introduction and later you were explaining some stories and some analogies, so which were quite convincing. So that structure was really good. Then you added some humorous elements inside your speech, and also those elements I think you explained with conviction. So even in different parts of the speech, you were able to. One point you brought up was about cloud, like how you were able to use that as a humorous thing. Again, on the ChatGPT, you said something about G and all. So I think you were able to say that with conviction, so which is something I really liked. Then from moving on from one section to the next section, you were able to give clear passes. So I was able to understand, okay, you have completed one section of your speech and then you are moving to the next story. Because giving passes between your speeches is generally hard. I think you were able to do it and you were able to differentiate between different sections clearly. Coming to the things where I felt, one more thing which I liked was your word choices also. because you didn't repeat a lot of words. For example, you said instead of being, I was happy, you said, my jaws dropped and all that. So whenever you try to use different words, the story was, becoming more descriptive and we were able to relate, okay, what's actually happening here. Now coming to the things which I felt would have been done better is, in between, I think you are trying to explain things in layman terms, but when it comes to few sections like data center and all those areas were not really clear. So maybe you would have been put it in even more simpler terms. Then you would have changed the tone of your voice also in between. Because you are maintaining the same tone throughout your speech. So that's one thing. And finally, one minor thing which I felt was body language was a bit restricted. Maybe you could have been a bit more open in your body language. So overall, I find your speech really good. And one thing which stood out for me was the impact of your speech was a bit longer, because even after you completed your speech, still I could remember major parts of your speech. So it was lasting longer. So I think it means it was a great speech. Yeah, so looking forward to it.
Thank you, Dharani. As a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the evaluator as well. So I would really compliment you on kind of bringing out the nuances of the speech, the positive areas, the areas of improvement, and also managing to give certain examples at places and suggest the necessary area of improvements. One thing I would like you to look upon is the usage of, some things were there, some things were here, some things kind of reduces the impact of your evaluation as such. So very specifically, this is the point and this is the evaluation would be a better approach. Having said that, Saurabh really liked your speech because these are situations we often get into, and like Einstein himself mentioned, like unless you have, deduced a topic that a 5-year-old can understand, you are still in the process of solving it as such. So brilliantly done. Two things I want you to look upon, Saurabh, is one from the perspective what we call as contrast. When you want to really impact, like for example, what did my father think about cloud and what actually is cloud? If you can bring out this contrast in a really nice way, then there will be laughter, then there will be a memory. Second one is inclusion. Just like your parents, there could be people here who have no knowledge of cloud. So when we start off with the premise that, how difficult it is to explain to somebody like my parents, there might be a kind of, blockage in the mindset of people like, okay, I'm a little alien. So the thing is, you could start the speech saying, okay, how many of you don't know about cloud computing? And people will happily raise their hands. Tell them, don't worry, I'm here to explain to you because I've already done it to my parents and I know how to do it, right? So that kind of includes everyone. So that's one perspective. But having said that, I think you did a brilliant job in trying to create that platform where we all can think about how to bring our complex concepts to this place and kind of narrate it to other people. So great job done. Please give a good round of applause. The next speech of Rohit being evaluated by Manoj. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Sure. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters and my target speaker, Toastmaster Rohit. So you have clearly demonstrated, like, to succeed, your efforts has to be more than your excuses. And you have not put the big one, but I'll give you full mark to choose the topic, because the biggest thing when you go for a prepare a speech is the topic you choose. You choose a topic, you choose a mentor actually who is very close to your heart, and also a topic which is close to the target audience, because sometimes you choose a topic probably go beyond your target audience. So kudos to you for that. And in between is like, do you know what is the average span to you can keep the target audience in your attention, or what is the maximum time you can keep engaging your target audience? Okay, it's only 8 seconds. And in between that, to keep engaging, it should be, you have to do something like your punching line should be there, should be engage the audience with the humor. Throughout your speech, you have completely engaged the audience with your story, which is connecting to the target audience, especially related to your Toastmaster, the topic you choose, the way you deliver, and also the humor element you have put in between. Like you mentioned, I like your humorous line that your conductor tells, sometimes you bring the change rather than you expect me to bring the change. So probably the lines may be here and there. Sure, tried many times, which was kudos to you for that. And I think objective is that your structure, you begin it quite well with a very good punching line. You have engaged the audience throughout the speech and you have concluded with what you have achieved. And also it's a message for the target audience by engaging in this kind of forum, how they can be benefited. So, well, full mark to you for that. And now I'm coming to the important area, probably what can be done better. So one thing area I believe what you can do better, like in between I've tried many punching lines, many humorous lines. Few walk, your body language and your energy completely gone out. In the starting also you have already tried few lines, like only choice you make is that the sit in the bus we select. So in that case, probably I'm not giving any time to the audience, or you're very fast, people couldn't take out those messages. I suggest whenever you are putting a punching line, take a bit pause, give the audience to digest your message and react on that. And the second, I'll suggest you have wrapped up your bit fast on the speech, you could make it slow. Either content, I'll not tell you could have added much because it's completely kudos you for that, the content you choose. But you have wrapped up a speech in 5 minutes, 15 seconds, right? So probably that is one thing you can look at. Can you make it bit slow? And there is probably the way people choose. I think 7 minutes you have, we can choose 700 words. And now if there is a good app, your generation must know that Yodlee, right? You can practice it and that gives you many suggestions. So I think overall, for me, it's a full mark to you and you have fulfilled the purpose of the speech and all the best for your future speech. And thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. Great evaluation. Again, good specific examples that you gave and nice areas of improvement. Only thing I would ask you to structure it so that these are the 3 improvements I have, 2 improvements I have, so that it gets registered for Manoj as well. I mean Rohit as well. Rohit, I just would want you to confess to everybody that this was not a promotional speech that we planned because there are so many guests today. Because there might be a misconception that this was properly planned to promote Toastmasters as such. But lovely speech, Manoj, and very well delivered. You have a nice snap of humor also. Couple of things I want you to observe is one is like this person, this mentor you have, such a beautiful person. The entire speech was molded around the person, and we didn't even get to know the name of the person, right? So these are certain elements that you need to observe. And another thing is the use of language. The way language is structured is what we call in grammatical terms, first person, second person, third person. That is very important for speaking because let us say, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you the story of Cinderella. So once upon a time, there was Cinderella. So from this, to think of saying it, hello everybody, I'm Cinderella. And this is what happened in my life, right? The authenticity increases the moment you push it into first person. So all the conversations you had with your Chechi, your sister, these were all in third person. She told me of a place called Toastmasters where people will meet, and I was like, are you sure it is not? So rather than that, that is why we stress on the my sister, and I spoke to her, my sister said this, I said this. The reason we create this is because that first person will push more power into it. So that's one thing I want you to observe. And one more thing is, you had a brilliant structure about how you did not have a choice or there was only one choice to make when you climbed the bus. Great premise. How does that actually equate with picking Toastmasters? Is a loose end that isn't tight. So try to look at it from a content perspective. Right. So those were 2 lovely speeches by Rohit as well as Saurav. Please give a good round of applause to. Now let's move on to the evaluation for the day and have the role takers. Timer. Trilok, would you want to present your report?
With respect to the time taken, except for Toastmaster Manoj, everybody was under their prescribed limits. So that is great. But having said that, similar to the exams where you have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you want to make most of it. Even if you are done, make use of the last couple of seconds to give a summary of your thoughts and your presentation. So this was specifically applicable in case of table topics. I'd like to congratulate all of the guests who took the courage to to come to the stage and speak, but also would like to make a recommendation that the next time try to touch that 2 minute level. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Trilok, can we have the accountant report by Sanjana?
So, for the speaker one, Saurabh, you use well 3 times. You know 1 time. It's a good one, like, it's great. Rohit, very well done. Like, you used well 1, but 1, and like once. Now coming to table topic, Shivani, you used 3 times, okay 2 times, but 5 times, so 2 times. Sampath, you used 2 times, okay 1 time, so 2 times, I mean 1 time. Karan, you use 2 times and so 1 times. Venki, like 1 time, Chetna used 3 times, but 2 times and so 1 time. Sudhir, 2 times 4 times okay. Money, so 2 times, like 1 time. Manjula, 4 times 2 times so. And I do not know for evaluators if I have to speak. Dharani's special counter was I lost track of how many hours were there. And for Manoj, the favorite one was like, and I lost the track of how many likes were there. Over to you. Thank you.
Great, and grammarian Yaska, do we have the grammarian report?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you. Thank you so much. So unfortunately, due to some network issues, I could only hear the first 2 speeches. I'll base my grammarian report on that. So first for Saurabh, there are very nice words used. One is unraveling. We cannot get this cloud to rain, right? So he used the word of the germane. So what improvements can he done is he said that's how Google and Facebook keeps content. It says stores content because that's a better word. He said it gets better. It should be it gets better. He said landing into such unexpected. We're landing into such an unexpected thing. In this world, how ChatGPT works, to be in this world, how does ChatGPT work? For Rohit, I like the statement he said, my parents' second favorite child, umpteen number of choices. Umpteen is a word which I have not heard in a recent times. Architect of my life. It's very nice how he used the noun as an adjective. That's a very good usage. Now, where can improve it? He overused the word like in many places. That's a common term that we use. You have to very nicely remove that. Then he said, me being an intro, I being an introvert, so me being an introvert. So these are the some of the things. And also I like the word Arun, who used endearing speech for his speech. That's a very nice usage of the word. Thank you so much. Back to the level.
Thank you, Yaska. So, wonderful job done by all the 3 role takers, timer, accounter, and grammarian. So let's give a huge round of applause for all of you. Now, let's move on to the general evaluation for the entire meeting. So the meeting started at 10:04 a.m. Given the way the guests were walking in, as well as the online-offline coordination, I think that's quite acceptable. But I really, congratulate and kudos to the team that was managing it. Because it's difficult to set that premise that only people should walk in and walk out during an applause, etc. in the very beginning itself. So there were a lot of people walking in, but I think there was good coordination to make them get seated and get things comfortable. So a good round of applause to the committee members or the members who arranged the meeting and made sure that this was done. Now, the Sergeant at Arms, Manjula, nice way of opening the meeting. You had a good establishment of the ground rules and also explaining what exactly is the mission. I think you have, you are the assigned Sergeant at Arms, the makeshift Sergeant at Arms. You are the assigned Sergeant at Arms, and you have been playing this role for quite some time. So good, we could see that. And a couple of things that I wanted to tell you is Sergeant at Arms kind of sets the tone for the entire meeting. So it's okay, take a pause, smile, and the way you say your good morning or the first line would kind of set the tone. So please look on that, because the generic way of saying like good morning everybody, thanks for coming, might not set a great tone, because people have made time on a Sunday and come. So if you have that energy, that gets reflected in the team as well. And one more thing is introduction to the president. Actually, the entire Toastmasters institution thrives on giving attention to people. That is why people come to Toastmasters. So it would be nice that the president is given a good introduction, tell something about the president and make him feel nice. That will get kind of contagious, and president also does the same to the other people. That's all that I had to say, but great way of opening the meeting. Thanks a lot. Manjula, please, a good round of applause for Manjula. And then the PO address, Yaska, one thing I really like is that you did not eat into the TMOD's script, which is a nice practice that presidents should follow. Otherwise, if it is examinations, everything about examinations is spoken about by the president itself, and the TMOD has nothing to do. So good that you touched upon a very contemporary aspect of water and water deficit and the problems associated with it. I only wish it was a little longer and it had absolutely punching points that we could refer to. But otherwise, good job done in terms of introduction of the guests, and also you introduced the TMOD quite well, which was nice. So a good round of applause to Yaska, especially for his commitment to be in an exotic place and still be with us. So after that, the table topic master for today. Jaiprakash, what I really liked is the kind of topics that you have taken. I think everybody spoke quite well, and everybody spoke over a minute, which shows that the topics were quite interesting and people had a lot of content to talk about. Couple of things I would like you to consider is one, in general, anybody who is taking up table topics master, please don't get into that business of volunteers who would want to come up, because we will waste a lot of valuable time. As a table topic master, we have the joy of pushing people into their uncomfortable zone. So anybody, even if you don't know their name, the person sitting right here or so and so person, we just push them. Otherwise, it becomes like that wedding ceremony, bride's brother, you eat first, you eat first. So no formalities, just push people, let them speak. And another thing is, the commentary that we do before and after, if it is very short, then again, that facilitates more time for people to speak. So I would recommend those two things in general to everybody, not just to Jaiprakash as such, but otherwise, good topics, we could kind of relive those memories of childhood times of examinations. So a good round of applause to them. And finally, the Toastmaster of the day, Arun, brilliant start, and the way you have carried on from the beginning till the end, the way you are organizing several things, but your presence here and making sure seamlessly it is all connected. And most importantly, most of the times TMODs have this habit of overloading with information, which you avoided and you kept it very specific. A very well thought out subject, because I don't know why this happens to me, but I am flooded with this reels of physics wala and other. I have finished my intermediate some 20 years back, but I don't know why they still think I am a prospect for IIT JEE. But I have been forced to watch this, and I see the kind of pressure, so much so that yesterday or sometime I was thinking that one of the professors, one of the teachers in this academy is telling that if in your life you are not wearing a t-shirt that says IIT so and so, then your life is not worth living. And then if we are complaining about our kids committing suicides, I don't think it's worthy, right? So the way this information is being pushed to kids these days, I'm sure there is a lot of tension around it. So thanks a lot for bringing in that. But anyways, one disappointment was you started with a word saying annual affair. And we got us excited, and then the examination before a disappointment. But otherwise, great job done, Arun. Let's give a huge round of applause. And before I end, a couple of things to the management in general, team management, is that I have often seen 90 minutes format meetings, and generally it kind of crumbles everything into it. So please do consider if you want to move it to a 120-minute format, because everything seems a little rushed up. But otherwise, great location. I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you so much for having me as a GE, and back to you.
I will spare Yaska, the presiding officer, closing remarks. Yaska, is it okay? I will take it over, if that's okay with you. You may be
Please
the
go
first.
ahead. I'm in a very, yeah, please go ahead.
Exactly. Thank you. Thanks, Yaska. Firstly, I just want to thank all of you for coming out here on a Sunday morning, spending an hour and a half. Truly appreciate it. I hope it's been a good investment of your time. Can I take some of the responses from guests who have attended today's meeting? Satvik, you want to?
Yeah.
You can come here.
For both should I take? For both link.
Hi, this is Satvik.
So just give me, I'm sorry. I've shared a voting link with all of you here. Please vote right now, and by the time you finish taking the feedbacks, I will be announcing the results of the poll as well.
Hi, this is Satvik. This is my second session. My first session was an online one, and I clearly see the difference. So speaking to a mic on a laptop and speaking to people full of like the room full of people who are directly looking at you is totally different. I loved Rohit's speech. I loved the technological speech from, I am not sure, Saurabh. I spoke to a couple of people today, Manoj, and I think I'll be a member soon. I look forward to joining every sessions coming forth.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
So my observation, given I have some context here, that this, even though it is crammed, the distance traveled is shorter. As a result, you are saving a lot of time. Otherwise, I see a lot of pause and it kind of either disconnects. Like I said, there is enough crowd. If this is common, I think 120 minutes makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, people are pretty young, energetic, given that I'm little on the other side. So it's a lot to learn. So I come here with a lot of open mind. So listening to you guys, where you guys come from. So I'm betting my retirement on the young crowd. So I am very pleased that I'm doing the right thing. Thanks.
Thank you. You want to share your thoughts?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Today is my second session, and in first session also I was good. I got so impressed by this forum, so I decided to come again, and now I have decided that I will join this forum, and I joined this Toastmaster Club.
That's not a mandatory line. I have not payments to make people say that they're joining this club. Like Kishore said, this is just naturally happened. Organic. Sridhar, you want to share your thoughts?
As I said, today is my first day, but it's very much inspiring. So I know like how it feels actually standing here and talking. I mean, like, it's kind of you are the ground is moving out of your field. So, but this is good actually, and I definitely want to come often here and join this club.
Sampath, you want to? All good. So, there anything that you want to add?
Really easy the district, help us put the pitch tower and then.
Okay, we'll make it a little more accurate. Thank you. And Kishore, sir, just for information, we were 75 minutes. We have moved to 90 minutes. We will move to 120 minutes. So point completely taken. Okay. Ready for the results? Okay. And I mentioned Chetna as guest. I understand you are a new member already, but that doesn't really matter. Super. I need the slips, please.
Yeah. You can tell them.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, let's start with the best table topic speaker. It didn't matter whether she's a guest Toastmaster or what. You. Thanks. That's you. And we move to the best evaluator. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Dharani.
You just need that for a after session. Yes. Rest you will do it.
Our speech crafter member Arun.
Sorry?
Our speech crafter member getting
Yes,
award.
I have to point this out. Dharani joined us as a speech crafter. Speech craft is an 8-week or really short boot camp in terms of understanding the basics of public speaking. And then he came for all the 8 sessions, which is in itself an achievement. And after that, he wanted to invest a lot more time. He saw value in that program, and now he's a full-time Toastmaster for a regular Toastmaster for the club. So thank you, Dharani. We can see the progress. Next, we move on to best supporting role player, and that goes to our counter Toastmaster Sanjay. The best primary role taker. There was a reason that I wanted this gentleman to do a role that is satisfying and is justifying of his potential. And it gives me great pleasure that we had a meeting that was evaluated in totality by someone who could come and give a very rich outside-in perspective, and that's obviously general evaluatory team. The final one is the best speaker for today, and that is Toastmaster Rohit. Thank you. And we'll now end the meeting and we will connect outside for a little snacks and a photo.
It'll take just a minute. This is about coronation, which is the annual conference, the biannual conference of Toastmasters. This is open to both guests and the members. It is like a conference where you get to meet the winners of the public speaking contest. You get to network with a lot of people, and there's a lot of fun activity as well. If you'd like to attend this is happening this year on 24th to 26th May. And the tickets are available online if you would like to buy them. Coronation.92 is the Instagram page that you should go ahead. And if you'd like to know anything more about this, please reach out to any of us. Thank you.
Where is it happening? Royal Orchid Convention Center. Okay. Bangalore.
Yes.
Okay, with that, I declare this meeting closed. Thank you very much for connecting outside. Thank you, folks, joining online. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, Trilok, did you stop the recording? So, 2 members joined actually from one place today. 50.